Language is more than just communication, it is culture, identity, and history. Latin America is home to a vast linguistic variety that comes from the voices of indigenous peoples, the influence of European colonization, and the forces of globalization. Today, we explore the development, challenges, and future of multilingualism in the region, and how it connects or affects the topic of global citizenship. But what does multilingualism truly mean for this diverse region?
Long before European colonization, civilizations like Aztecs, Incas, Pipils, and Mayans spoke languages such as Nahuatl, Quechua, and various Mayan dialects. These languages were rich in history, governance, and spirituality. But in the 15th and 16th centuries, Spanish and Portuguese arrived, pushing indigenous languages to the margins. Colonial rulers used language as a tool of power, enforcing Spanish in education, religion, and governance. These languages shaped societies, built civilizations, and defined cultures. However, colonization brought the imposition of Spanish, forcing indigenous tongues into the shadows.
Despite centuries of suppression, indigenous languages persist even today. Words from Nahuatl, like chocolate and tomato, are now embedded in Spanish and even in English. But linguistic survival is more than borrowed words. It is about cultural resilience.
Governments and organizations also recognize the value of linguistic diversity. Bolivia, for example, officially recognizes 37 indigenous languages in its constitution. Educational programs in countries like Peru and Ecuador promote bilingualism, ensuring younger generations retain their linguistic heritage.
The digital age presents new opportunities. Indigenous activists use social media, apps, and online platforms to teach and celebrate their languages. Efforts to preserve languages go beyond the classroom. Storytelling, music, and art continue to be vital in maintaining linguistic traditions. Elders pass down history through oral narratives while musicians incorporate indigenous languages into modern genres. These cultural expressions serve as powerful tools to keep languages alive for future generations.
Globalization has made English a dominant force in Latin America, especially in business and education. While this presents economic opportunities, it also raises concerns about the loss of native languages.
Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X are fostering a new wave of digital activism. Language learning apps like Duolingo now offer courses in languages like Quechua, Nahuatl, and Guarani, helping new generations reconnect with their linguistic roots. Yet, challenges remain. Globalization pushes English and Spanish as dominant languages, while economic inequalities limit access to multilingual education. Some fear that preserving indigenous languages might hinder modernization, but in reality, multilingualism strengthens cultural identity and global engagement.
It is important to acknowledge that indigenous people will continue to be an essential part of a country's history, and their culture and costumes come along with language. By embracing Latin America's linguistic diversity, there can be a better preservation of cultural heritage. It can even help Latin America to evolve into a more globalized region where diversity is celebrated as a shared asset for humanity.
As Latin America moves forward, it must find balance, preserving its rich linguistic heritage while embracing a multilingual future. Language is not just about words, it's about people, history, and the shared identity of a region that speaks with many voices, yet tells one powerful story of overcoming and embracement of people's cultural roots while promoting development and evolution into a more globalized world.